Hello all you beautiful people, and welcome back to the channel. What a wonderful day here in the Pacific Northwest with all of its glory and rain. This is a quick overview of waterproofness and the M104. As many of you know, there is only 6 screws that hold on the top cover, 3 on this side and 3 on this side. There is nothing else, no adhesives, no silicone, just those 6 screws. Once you take them out, this top cover does wiggle off. It is kind of a tinted plastic, and then inside, if we were to look at this here, you can see down here at the back, there is a tiny little cutout in the plastic there, and up here in the front, there's a very tiny one and a larger one, and those are actually for the grommets. This one here for the tail light, one here for the charge cord, and 2 here. This one goes down to the headlight, and this one is the motor cable wires. So something you can see here, if you look in there, the grommets themselves are filled full of a black silicone, so the wires are siliconed in there. So it's not just a regular grommet, they did silicone it to prevent any water ingress coming through the hole that the wire goes through on the grommet. This is the metal casing, and it does go all the way up to the edge in here on the top cover. These are the little screws that hold it on. These are the screws that hold on the headlight. And inside the board itself, just like many others, you could see that there's some silicone on different connectors in here and the board itself, but as far as anything in here goes, it doesn't look like it's coated with anything water resistant or proof. I could be wrong. There is a little bit of shine to these components, so it might actually have silicone over it. The tail light here, you could see that, does actually have silicone around the wire going into that plastic housing with the LED array. So this is pretty water resistant. I have ridden this wheel, as you can see the pedals there, in quite a bit of rain, through some puddles, a lot of mud and dirt, and from the looks of it in here and in here, I mean, this thing is spotless. You can see nothing. There is no dirt, no water ingress, nothing in there. I mean, obviously, there's always potential of getting a little bit in there if it's wet and you're taking that cover off. But so far, everything looks to be fairly water resistant. If we move to the front here, I already unscrewed the headlight. It is just these 2 screws. If you pop this off and you look at the back here, it is also silicone, so the wires go in there. It is that same black silicone in there, and I would say it is fairly water resistant. Along the metal base here, probably used as the heat sink, there is actually black silicone all the way around it as well, and then these 4 screws go in and kind of sandwich that. If you look underneath to the charge port here and the push button start there, you could see that these are siliconed to the metal, which I'm not sure does a whole lot, and then the connectors here, the pins are heat shrunk. So there is no adhesive heat shrink in there, it is just regular heat shrink, so those would not be water resistant. However, the likelihood of a lot of water getting up in there, going in there is pretty slim, and since they are heat shrink individually, the likelihood of water contacting both sides, positive and negative, and shorten something would be pretty slim. Only thing you'd have to worry about is corrosion, but these connectors are usually pretty corrosion resistant. From the top here, this is just a regular button, so as far as the ring around there, I'm not sure how waterproof it is going inside where that button is. It doesn't look like an exterior button in my opinion. However, like I said, I have ridden this in the rain, pretty heavy rain, and there's been no issues with the power multi-switch button. And the charge port obviously has the same cover as always, which is pretty deep. So for water to get up in there and down into those pins, pretty slim chance. As you can see, there is no watermarks, no deposits, nothing in there. It is clean. All the mud and everything this wheel has been through, no issues at all. I'm not going to go as deep as taking the motor off and showing you where the wires go into the motor. However, I would doubt that is going to be a point of ingress, as most of us have ridden through puddles and, small lakes with many wheels, and that is always least likely to have corrosion or issues. It's always the board and any kind of water ingress here. So in my opinion, I would say you're very safe off riding this wheel in the rain, downpours, even maybe washing it down a little bit. Just don't spray water up the sides, because there is no silicone seal around this cover. It is press fit and screwed on the sides, so water can get in there and down in here, but it's just not likely to happen. So overall, my opinion of this wheel, I still absolutely love it. I love that I have two of them, and I am not afraid to ride this in any kind of rainy or wet conditions. So I hope you guys enjoy the quick little update on this. I'm going to go do one on the T4 as well. A lot of you have been asking about my pads here. They do go all the way up the side and the front. So unlike the stock pads, this plastic cover is protected. The pad does extend all the way past this edge, and it is a softer infill up here to give it a nice squishy feel, and it is a stiffer infill, more walls down here to help provide that rigidity to the jump pad itself. The jump pad slides in from the bottom, and here you can see this track is full. That is because I provided jump pad blockers that you cut to length and you slide in there before the jump pad. So an example here, you can see this one's printed a little differently. It's a lot more squishy. You could slide this out, and then here is your jump pad blocker. So you don't need more than one. I provide a couple with every order, and those prevent that block from sliding any further up than your comfort spot, whatever your shoe thickness is. So if you have any questions on these, I will be posting these to my Etsy very soon. They're going to be fairly pricey. It's a lot of material. It's a very large print, but I will get them up there for those interested. And this is my clip cover that pops off. It's going to be thicker and more robust. This was just a quick prototype that prevents this connector from coming apart, which many of you know it has been pulling and sliding out. So this gives you a nice firm clip over it and a little window to make sure that that connection is staying put. So I will have a video continuing this here shortly of me jumping with this wheel with the jump pads to show you guys how they work. And again, I hope you guys enjoy the update. Please consider subscribing and ringing that bell. Share with anybody you think may be interested. And as always, have a beautiful day, you beautiful people.